everyone. I'm Debra Prinzing, and can you believe this is our final Slow Flowers member meetup of 2020? We have been through quite a year. And just to recap, for those of you who, looks like most people have been on the call before, but if you haven't, we had a pretty robust weekly session right when COVID first started, and we were all kind of feeling disconnected and we were all trying to navigate what this year was going to look like. And we met weekly for 2 months. And then after Memorial Day, we switched to monthly. And every month has been such a delight to reconnect, to invite a special guest to come share with us about his or her creations, talent, farming, floral design. And it's sort of, in the last few months, we've been very thematic. So today, I am delighted to introduce our succulent expert, Marialuisa Kaprielian. And Marialuisa is in the beautiful
everybody.
melon sweater. She is based in San Diego. She's the owner of Urban Succulents, which is a floral design online shop. And she'll talk a little bit about that. And I just want to tell you how I met Marialuisa. She was introduced to me by Robin Stockwell, who's a plantsman in the kind of Monterey Bay area. And Robin wrote this book called Succulents. We've had him on the podcast, so you can go back and look for that. He's called the Succulent Guy. And in Robin's book about succulents, he had some guest designers, and Marialuisa was one of them. And she designed these beautiful wedding creations, all with succulent plants. This is the bridal bouquet. And this book is still available, so you can go find it for a reference. Beautiful, oh, my mic is in the way. Beautiful cake topper, hairpiece. And then I think Marialuisa said there's a boutonniere. Oh, here it is with a how-to. So this woman is incredibly talented. She has turned her passion for succulents into a robust and exciting online business. Karen will put the website in the chat box so you all can find Marialuisa. And I just thought we would talk about succulents because this time of year, it seems like whether you can only use hardy succulents or whether you can use tender, or whether you have a greenhouse enclosure, something that would allow you in the colder climates to have tender succulents. There's a lot to appreciate this non-perishable cut flowers. So Marialuisa, well, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you kind of tell everybody about your business, and we'll talk for a little while, and you're going to do a design demo too, right?
That's correct. Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for allowing me to be in your meetings, Debra. It's an honor for me. So I first fell in love with succulents about 12 to 15 years ago when I saw a picture of a rosette, an Echeveria succulent in a glass dish surrounded by pebbles, by little gravel. The geometry of the plant just popped up to me, and I fell in love with them. Shortly after, I started working, making terrariums with succulents. I started bringing them to furniture stores in the area to show them how to use them indoors. Just for reference, I'm going to show you a picture of one of my early work that I don't have on my phone because I thought I had it. But anyway, I was using colored sand in a glass bowl, in a glass dish with layers of sand and all the succulents in there. Modern furniture stores were the ones selling them. So I was going to 3 different stores in San Diego. After that, my niece was getting married, and somehow she knew that there were succulent bouquets out there. And she said, well, I'm going to need a succulent bouquet. So I very quickly went online to learn how to wire a succulent. Luckily, I found something online, and I did all her wedding centerpieces and bouquets for her and her bridesmaids. Shortly after that, I found out about Etsy. Etsy, as probably a lot of you know, it's a store for all handmade things. So I posted my first succulent bouquet, and it traveled from San Diego all the way to Florida. I learned to package them properly through the years so that they don't break in traveling. Even though succulents are sturdy and they don't need a lot of water for a long time, they can lose their leaves and fall apart. So it can be tricky to package them. But we have succeeded on that. We've been doing weddings for about 8 years, shipping across the United States all the way to Florida, Alaska, and Hawaii. So it's been a wonderful experience. We do centerpieces here in San Diego. And what's beautiful about my business is that when I first started working and buying succulents, I really wanted to buy from the big shot companies that were supplying succulents all over the country. I apologize, I was getting poked here with a cactus. And I found out that a lot of immigrant families have been trained to grow succulents from the big growers. They had been working with the big growers. On the side, they decided to create their own enterprises. So there's a lot of women from Mexico, Central America, and different parts of Mexico, basically. These are women-owned businesses, and they're only about 35 to 40 miles radius north of my area. So I don't have to go far to get succulents that are grown in Southern California. Everything is just within my reach within 20 minutes. Their quality of succulents is just superb. It is so beautiful. It does not, I mean, it is probably better than what you find at Home Depot because they're bringing them in trucks from factories, and they're shaking them. And what I find with these women is just so beautiful.
They must be so happy to have you as in a way, a volume buyer. Like you're not just buying one or two for your garden. You're buying quantities when you order from them, right?
Quantities. We have a couple of greenhouses in our backyard. We have a nice canyon and lots of space to contain hundreds and hundreds of succulents. I want to talk a little bit about designing with succulents. As everybody knows, some of the elements of design, it's definitely, you need line. Succulents offer line elements.
Oh.
These are euphorbias. These are from the family of euphorbias. And these are little other long stems. You would be surprised to hear that since we're in winter right now, I don't know if anybody knows that our beautiful poinsettia is part of the euphorbia family. So it is a succulent.
That's great.
That's beauty. We have also with succulents, we have our form, small rosettes. There is mass.
Wow.
And of course there is texture and fillers. So here we have all the, we have foliage. I don't have an example for foliage right nearby, but definitely we have the line, we have form, we have mass, and like I said, fillers and texture. I am working on what I like to do. My favorite part to work with are the rosettes, which are the echeverias that you see in this wreath. I like to use the rosettes as a flower. I like to upstage them and put them on vases and put them on containers, showcasing them as flowers. So Really quickly, I just have a small collection of samples of what I have done to showcase succulents as flowers. And you have seen that probably this is not great quality light, but obviously I do the bouquets. On this example, I have the succulents as a bouquet in a container, and only an accent flower. Many florists obviously are florists and work with flowers, and sometimes they use just the succulent as an accent. I do the opposite. I do a flower as an accent. So in an example of mass, you can see a huge succulent.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Around it.
Yeah.
So that's showcasing a big succulent as a flower. So what I'm going to do here, since it's winter time, I want to use line. I want to use a little bit of balance and form and shapes outside of my container. I have a juniper or winter branch from a pine. And of course, I'm going to use our beautiful poinsettia.
Oh, wonderful. So
basically, this is all full of dirt. In order to secure the branch, I just poke it with wire against the root ball of the of this aloe in the back. A little bit later, after I do this, I'm going to show you how to properly wire a succulent so that it can continue living. Many people like to put a stick under the bottom of the succulents and through the core, and it can kill the succulent. So I like to use wire instead.
Oh, that's so modern looking, Marialuisa.
Yes, I am trying to do, I like to think of Ikebana and the balance of nature. I like the pieces to be airy and flowy and show that there is just the harmony of the elements in nature, how they can grow and they can balance with each other. In order to keep everything in place, gravel is very, very useful to keep the wires from flip-flopping around. So because these pieces are designed in a container that has no drainage, very little water is required, especially because they're succulents. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions as I am working. But I'm going to see, we have the vertical element. We have the branches that overgrow from the container.
Oh, that's beautiful, Marialuisa.
I am going to put some filler and product that dangles in the front.
There's one question about the poinsettia. You said that you will water this beautiful piece pretty sparingly because there's no drainage, but what is the water requirement of the poinsettia versus, say, the aloe or the succulent?
The poinsettia needs water every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And you saw me, I pulled it out of the pot where it was living. It was just a tiny pot. Sometimes I just leave it in, and I instruct my my clients to direct the water into the container where the poinsettia is set, either with a sprayer, shooting into it. And the rest that drips all over the container, that's just enough for the rest of the plants to survive.
I have another question for you, Marialuisa. This piece is a custom piece, like you would deliver this to a house account. It's not something you would ship, right?
No, this will not ship. Mm-hmm. I have a trailing piece over here, just a second.
It's such a beautiful kind of Southwest take on the typical Christmas decor that you see poinsettias used in. It's just so inspiring.
Yes, thank you. So I have this collection of little succulents growing here. I'm going to grab this to have it dangling in the front.
Mm. I suppose also after the holidays, if you wanted to keep that piece on display, you might pop out the poinsettia and put in, I know you use, maybe you pronounce it differently than I do, but like kalanchoe
Right.
as a color element.
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, that's great.
Here's a piece of 18-gauge wire, just to secure that piece so it doesn't fall out.
Oh, that's great. So it'll eventually root into the potting soil is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Someone's asking, what is the about approximate dimension of that container? Is it about 8 inches or just to get scale?
8 inches by 8 inches, yes.
Okay. Oh, that's gorgeous.
So here's a very modern, I wish the container was a black container to not offer so much contrast on everything.
I like it.
Out of my way here.
I like it a lot. It's beautiful. You can't hear everyone clapping, but we're all going to clap at the end.
Thank you. So definitely what I'm going to do to make it more festive, there's of course the Christmas decor that I didn't bring too many to my table right now, but here you can see how to bring it a little sense of Christmas cheer. So while I have this here, I am going to show you how to wire a succulent that can pop up here. And here's a succulent that grew way out of its 2-inch container. This is usually how I buy them, in a container like this, but it grew too much. And of course, it leaves a lot of leaves behind.
Right.
I'm going to clean it out.
While you're doing that, there's another question. Someone said that she planted some succulents in smaller, shallow containers and they did not do well. So is the depth important?
No, it is not important. Probably it was either too much water or were they indoors and they did not like the lack of light of living indoors.
Right. So in your area, that piece could be on a patio or on an outdoor table as well. Could it be indoors as well?
Yes. These pieces can last indoors for about a month.
Okay.
After that, the beautiful shape of the rosette, it starts to grow from the center up and it loses its shape. And then it just looks very, very depressing looking. And
yeah.
So let me show you. I just put the wire through this little stem. And
that's you said 18 gauge?
That's, this is 21 gauge. This is very thin, and this is 18. So what I do with the 18, I fold it over and I kind of do it on both sides.
But you don't puncture the stem with it?
No, I only puncture the stem with a very thin wire. And the other two stems go on the side. The other two wires go on the side of the stem, just to give it support.
Oh, that's so pretty. So that's a large echeveria.
Yes.
Oh.
It's called a subsicilis. It's blue and it's beautiful. And just for the sake of example, on using it as a flower, I can pretend that I'm sticking it up into my vase, into this container.
Wow, that is amazing. That just completes your design.
Exactly. It is. It's a focal point in between that that branching area, and it just kind of helps to to move the eye from the tip of the branch all the way to the very top.
Oh, stunning.
I was thinking about putting another rosette here sometime early on, but I don't know how much time I have. So
you have about 10 more minutes. I think there might be some more questions. The interest, showing how you wire that echeveria, maybe you could talk about your pieces that can be shipped and what people need to know about in terms of, like, say you made a bridal bouquet, would you individually wire every single echeveria and then make it like a traditional bouquet with fresher material?
Yes. To make it a wedding bouquet can take about an hour 15 minutes, mostly because it's such labor intensive having to wire every single echeveria. And I use a lot of the Kalanchoe that you were mentioning earlier. All these little florets, I cut them and I individually, I'm not going to cut them now because they're about to open and I want to use them. But the same thing, I just put the little two stems on the side of the little tiny stem there and tape it, and I can insert those flowers into the cluster of succulents in the bouquet. Mm-hmm. So for wiring the
wreath,
the wreath, basically I just I have a piece of wire that I'm tying around to secure the moss, as you florists already pretty much know how to do. And I'm going to show you what happens when you have a rosette that has no stem. Okay. I like to not touch the top of the rosettes because many of them have a little powder that reflects the light and makes them look beautiful. So always hold it from the little knob under there. And like I said before, just put the wire through, a thin wire, once again, and bend it down and put the other two wires on the side like that, the thick ones for the bouquets. For the wreath, what we do, we put this on top of the wreath, on top of the,
right.
And then just tie it around the back, as tight as possible. And this makes the succulents able to travel across the country. A lot of people like to glue the succulents just onto the moss, which is just fine. But I should have used
beautiful.
The blue one would have stand out more. But yeah, this is not going anywhere. As far as the arrangements that travel, as you were seeing earlier, the bouquet that I made in the container, it's impossible to wrap. These guys have to be very tight, compacted to be able to wrap them in paper and be able to travel. I put them in I wrap them in a newsprint, nice paper, and then with a bow, they go into a box full of paper, and out they go for about 3 days traveling.
I have another question from Chris Blackstone asking about sourcing. So after you show this, I want to ask that question. That's beautiful.
Yeah, this is
hold that up again.
This is one of our bestsellers. Is the birch
container.
Wow. Container with just lots of all kinds of succulents. We have these fussy ones that are very much like they're fussy.
Yeah.
Name of it. All kinds of a nice variety of succulents. So we sell these all the time, over and over and again. It's a classic gift to give for anniversary, birthday, just you name it.
What is the retail price of that on your website?
That one is about $80.
Okay.
Just a little under, 79 or something like that.
Okay. Oh, Karen's putting the link in the chat box too, so people can see that. Marialuisa, do you sell succulents wholesale to other florists, or could you suggest how people can get their hands on some of this beautiful material, sources that you might recommend?
I sell the wired succulents a lot.
Already wired.
Already wired, yes.
Okay.
Sometimes brides want to use a lot of flowers and just a few succulents, so I send them to their florists and they can use them. And the miniature
plants, yeah.
Plants, I definitely wholesale them.
Okay. And you can ship those in the pot.
Yes, I can ship those in the pot, and I can ship these bigger ones in the pot as well. This is 4-inch. This is 2.5-inch. And we can also do even this also. This is just the 6-inch plant.
Oh my goodness. That's stunning. See, because most of us, and who aren't in Southern California don't have access to the variety from local growers, or like in my area, I'm getting a lot of hardy succulents available, but not a lot of the tender ones. So it's wonderful to see that they're available. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Yeah. So I
sell this wholesale.
Okay.
I don't have a lot of them listed, but there's always emailing. I'm very good at replying emails with requests of something special. And something about color, though. Sometimes people say, I want this very dark, beautiful piece, but probably the light is not helping here. You can see one is dark and the other one is not.
Yes.
The succulents, when they are stressed, they turn these beautiful colors. You can see here with the sticks on fire, they can turn orange when they are stressed. You can see where the sun has been hitting them.
Yep.
And the same happens with this. These guys have a red edge around them because they've been stressed. When they have been in the greenhouse for a long time, they're all fully green. So this is the same variety as this.
Wow. So the variations are desirable in a way. You want to let your succulents get stressed a little bit, right?
That's correct. Yes.
And is that either like with giving them less water and more sun, or exposing them to the elements?
What happens during the day? It can be very warm in the day and very cold at night. So that's one way of stressing them. Another one is just the lack of water and being very cold at night. So the different growers have their temperatures, and they have heaters at night. Some others don't. So succulents get stressed at different times of the week, of the month. And people will say, well, I want a succulent that looks orange now. It's like, okay, I have to go see which grower has that stressed succulent today.
Yeah.
And it's not like a rose. I want a pink rose, and I go get a pink rose.
You're trying to educate people about the kind of nuances of nature and the unpredictable, like that's a positive. You're trying to get them to be delighted by all those changes, right?
Right.
Hey, a few more questions. You have time for a few more questions?
Of course, yes.
Okay. Laura Cohen asked about gluing succulents, and if you could talk about the lifespan of a glued succulent. And then Emily Anderson asked about what you would advise clients who have purchased like that planted birch container in terms of care, because it probably doesn't have a drainage hose either. So those are two new questions. Yeah.
Well, all the arrangements that I ship across or that I deliver come with a care card according to the container. Basically, just about the one that I just showed, about a third of a cup of water every 3 weeks. And you have to spray it once a week all over, just to keep it content while it's waiting for a big drink. A third of a cup. And definitely it will have to be with a lot of light indoors. And then after it's sitting in your house and you start to see that it's elongating, just take it outdoors and it'll keep on going for months on end. The wreaths, they only need to be sprayed watered every 2 weeks or so.
Oh, stunning.
Like I said, everything comes with care instructions. And your other question was...
Oh, about gluing. How does the succulent survive after being glued?
They do great. They just grow roots. I can, sometimes I glue, like for example, a little one here, just to fill in a little hole. I would just grab this little thing. I use floral glue.
Yeah.
It just stays in there. I like to add like a little wire to make sure that while the glue dries,
it stays in place.
So the glue does not harm the succulents. People use hot glue. I use the quick setting floral glue in a green tube. It's Flora Bond, I think. School glue works, but it's drippy. But anything that sets quickly, even like I said, the hot glue works well. The roots, it doesn't bother them. They just go around it, and they look for the moss or the dirt or whatever material you used. I glue them a lot when I do bands for sashes, for dresses. I glue the succulents on there.
Oh, wow. Wearable. We need to get you to do a succulent dress for American Flowers Week. Can you imagine head to toe? Have you done like a succulent corset or something more truly wearable?
A sash. About this wide.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Marialuisa
stitched it a bit because I was afraid they would fall off, so I stitched the little succulents.
Right. I mean, that's a lot of weight once you get it on a piece of fabric, right?
Yes.
This has been so delightful. You are such a great educator. And I'm wondering, do you teach on YouTube, or do you do individual coaching if someone wanted to hire you for a one-on-one, even over Zoom? Have you been asked to do that?
I have been asked to do that very often. And I am starting to have help now. I have 2 assistants. One is a full-time and the other one is just starting. Through the years, I have been growing and I have been too busy to go outside the business to do something on the side.
Yeah.
But as I am getting ready to retire in a couple of years, and I am training my staff, I will be doing more. People keep asking for arrangement parties.
Yes.
So
yes.
with the pandemic, probably in Zoom will be the case.
You have been such a delight. Marialuisa is a longtime Slow Flowers member. She's a past guest of the Slow Flowers podcast, but this is her first appearance on a Zoom meetup. And I'm really delighted, especially for this time of year where we're all looking for, many people don't have access to fresh cut flowers for their work, but they do have access to succulents. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
And we are going to get in our giveaway for today. We have a gift from Urban Succulents that Marialuisa is giving us. And we have a few other giveaways, but we want to thank her so much. Let's put on the, Karen, can you put on everyone's cameras or take them off mute so we can give her a round of applause? I don't know if that's possible. These are all your fellow Slow Flowers members around the country. So thank you very much. Okay, listen, we are going to do something we haven't done for a while, and that is break out into chat rooms to just talk a little bit about where we're at here at the end of the year. And Marialuisa, you're invited to stay if you have time. Otherwise, we are going to share the video of this entire session next week so people can go back and watch the demos at their leisure. And all of Marialuisa's contact information is in the chat box too. So be sure to follow her and check her out. She might be a great resource if you need to buy wholesale succulents. Anyway, for the breakout rooms, we were going to go for about 10 or 15 minutes. If you want to stick around and just meet some Slow Flower friends, and Karen is going to break us into groups of 3, 4, or 5. And then when you're in the group, just introduce yourselves. And my goal is to have everybody share one challenge and one success of 2020. How about that? Because that's pretty wide open and you can define that any way you want. And then we'll come back and we'll just wrap up and announce the winners from last month of the giveaways and announce our giveaways for today. If you haven't identified yourself in the chat, please do so so that Nisha can grab your name and add you to the drawing. Thanks, Karen, for taking such good care of us on the breakout rooms. That was awesome. We haven't done that for a while, so it was nice to return. And by the way, one of my friends in my breakout room, Rachel Johnson from Simply Grounded, has already agreed to be our guest speaker for January and teach us the Sogetsu. Am I saying that right, Rachel? Sogetsu style of Ikebana. She's
Sogetsu. Yeah.
Sogetsu style. And I think, wouldn't it be wonderful, especially since Marialuisa talked about using Ikebana as an inspiration for her design, to actually learn a little bit about what Ikebana means and how we can, maybe we're not going to be masters, but we can adopt some of that. Rachel's sending me a text. She said, I needed to mention the accomplishment of the year for me. My success was getting this book published. And yes, Rachel, it was like moving heaven and earth. So I guess you're right. That is a big accomplishment. Thank you so much, everyone, for being part of this. And thank you, Marialuisa. You were just so inspiring. I know people are going to be getting in touch with you and also just taking some of your lessons into their own design or growing practices. We didn't even talk about propagating, but that could be another whole topic. I want to announce that we gave away who our winners were from last month. Julie Biggs from Old Truck Flower Farm received a Charles Little and Company dried wreath designed by Bethany Little, our speaker. Moira McKinnon of Love and Fantasy Flowers won the Boreal Blooms gift package designed by Heather Henson, our other speaker. And Robin Fineglass of Why Not Flowers received the Slow Flowers Journal book. So Karen is going to help me show off what we're giving away this month. And we will announce that next week and get in touch with people. It's been really fun. One of the things we're giving away is 2 packages from Johnny's Seeds. And so Karen, I'll let you take over this because I'm going to mess it up.
No worries. Sorry, I just had to unmute myself. The first giveaway for this week is going to be a new Slow Flower Society blank journal that I don't have one within arm's reach, so I'll just show you here on this screen. Really beautiful journal inspired by Debra's writing. The next items that we have are Johnny's packages, which will be this trucker hat embroidered with the Johnny's logo, as well as what is this seed?
The hand seeder. The hand seeding tool.
We'll include those as
so
well.
So we have 2 of those packages, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I know we have something beautiful from Marialuisa as well that I'll let you share more information about.
I don't know what it is. It's going to be a surprise, but Marialuisa's offered to share one of her designs, and she's an ace shipper. So I'm sure it will come to you in great, healthy beauty. So I don't know. Do you want to say anything else about that?
Basically, this is going to be the giveaway.
Oh my goodness.
Bestseller.
Your bestseller, and it's so beautiful. I wanted to ask you too, you're putting a little hypericum berry in there, just poking that in?
Right. Yeah, it only leaves a week or so.
But it adds some festivity.
Some cheering as you receive it. Just like the parsley in the dinner plate.
Like the what? The dinner?
The parsley in the dinner plate.
Yeah, it's your garnish.
Yes, exactly.
I love it. I love it. Well, listen, I'm so grateful for everyone to attend. We had a really good turnout today, and a lot of comments of people saying, welcoming or greeting everyone. And I just wish you all a wonderful holiday season. We're right in the middle of Hanukkah. We're moving into Christmas. We are going to have New Year's. And in the meantime, we're also going to be thinking back on this year and kind of focusing on our year in review, which I will be sharing in the last Slow Flowers podcast of the year, which is December 23rd. And, we're ready to turn a page on a new year. So I look forward to seeing you all at our next meeting, which will be Friday, January 8th. And we already know it's going to be about Ikebana. So that's pretty exciting. And I welcome you all to join us. We'll send out those details. In the meantime, happy holidays. And here's to and I wish this to someone recently, a profitable, peaceful, and prosperous 2021. We all are ready for it. So thanks.
And healthy.
And healthy, absolutely.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Take care, everyone. We'll see you next year. Bye-bye. Thanks, Marialuisa.
Thank you. My pleasure.
That was wonderful.